Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Apollo Justice. We are in the middle of figuring out who cheated, and whatever happened to the fifth ace that apparently existed, and we can't seem to find it right now, so let's move on. Now, which of these hands is more suspicious? Let's look at the victim's hand. It was the victim's hand that changed over the course of the witness's testimony. The defense requests time to examine Mr. Smith's cards. Very well. Mr. Payne, if you would.
Very well.
Thank you. Well, time's a-wastin'. Get to it, Justice. Yes, sir. Hey, thanks. Do it for me. That's awesome. When examining evidence, be sure to view it from all sides and angles. Try using the dials on the evidence viewer. That should give you a better perspective on the case. Okay, let's do this! Alright, well, there's nothing suspicious on the front side, so let's see if there's anything in the back. Oh! Hello?
What?
Your Honor, look at this! One of the victim's cards. The back is a different color. That's impossible! But I put that card in Wright's hand. Ach. Oh? Olga? What was that, Miss O'Reilly?
I merely said, I have...
Your Honor. Mr. Galvin, yes. Tell me, what is the easiest way to cheat at poker? To cheat? I'll tell you. One merely needs a friend, a comrade, shall we say. The dealer.
Oh! Wait, so you mean... this witness, Miss O'Reilly?
She's the cheater. A professional, I wager.
Yeah!
Oh my! Order, order! Focus, Justice. Time to take advantage of her. I mean, of her mistake. Oh, Apollo. Your Honor, please recall the testimony we just heard.
That's impossible! But I put that card in Wright's hand.
Ergo, Miss Olga O'Reilly conspired to cheat, not with my client, but with the victim, Mr. Shoddy Smith. Oh my god, this track. I really hope in Ace Attorney 6 they'll bring back a lot of music tracks from Apollo Justice, because there are some good tracks in here and I want to hear them remixed. Not only did she cheat, she cheated poorly. Therefore, it's not hard to imagine altercation between her and the victim.
What?
Wait, you don't mean... the defense isn't accusing the witness, Miss Olga O'Reilly, are you? Time for justice. There were 3 people in the room at the time of the incident, and if Mr. Wright isn't guilty, that means... I am. The defense accuses the witness, Mrs. Olga O'Reilly, of murder.
Ah!
Oh dear. Was that like a lobster? Mr. Payne, where is your witness, Miss Olga O'Reilly?
It appears she has lost consciousness, Your Honor.
Mr. Justice, Your Honor. It seems you've presented a new possibility to the court. One suggesting a connection between the witness and the victim, Mr. Smith. And that means... this court cannot pronounce a verdict for the defendant at this time.
What?
I did it. I held out. I see no point in prolonging the trial this day. The prosecution will need to make further inquiries. Objection! What? Phoenix? Mr. Wright?
You can't end the trial here, Your Honor. Not yet.
What nonsense is the defendant spewing now?
Think. One of the cards had a different colored back. Don't you wonder what it means?
What are you doing, Mr. Wright? Raising objections right when you're about to get off the hook? Ridiculous!
Mr. Payne, if you of all people should know, Mr. Wright has a talent for the ridiculous. He does. Perhaps we should get to the bottom of things. let's clear up the facts about the game That Fateful Night.
As was said before, we alternated between 2 decks of cards that night.
That was said before.
The 2 decks at the club have different colored backs, blue and red. 1 color per deck.
Why use different colored backs?
If we use the same color, the 2 decks might get mixed.
You used different colors, and they still got mixed up. He's got a point.
We used the red deck for the last game.
Oh, I see, but that's odd. For some reason, I have this impression that you were using the blue cards. Yeah, me too. I'm sure someone said something about blue cards. I believe that was Clavier who said that.
Whatever. In the end, 1 card of the wrong color got into the mix, which means there was cheating.
Yes, a card slipped into the deck would seem to indicate cheating. Yet, this card raises 2 serious questions. Apollo?
Yes?
Let's consider the first question, shall we? Think. In the last game, when was the card swapped?
Oh. When?
There are 3 broad possibilities here. It could have been swapped before the murder, during the murder, or after the murder.
Well, yeah, thanks for the news bulletin, Mr. Wright. Of course, it was swapped.
Oh? It might be as simple as you think, Mr. Payne. Or it might not be.
Nyeh.
I'd like to hear what Apollo thinks first. When do you think the cards were swapped?
When was the card swapped into the deck? Well, it can't be during the murder or before, because it would be very obvious that someone had a blue card in their hand, so it should be after the murder. Perhaps it happened after the murder?
What's that? Ridiculous! What's the point of cheating after the hands have been shown? That's silly.
Yes, but tell me, how do you swap cards during the game? I'll take silly over impossible.
Take it from me, son. There's a lot of silly in this world, but very little impossible.
Oh? Even when the backs of the cards are a different color? If you pull that during the game, you'd be caught in no time. Oh.
Quite true. That would mean that the blue card in question was swapped after the hands were shown, after the murder.
Okay, this is going past silly and straight on to crazy. I ask again, what's the point of cheating after the game's over? Who would do that?
Who indeed? That's one of the mysteries before us.
There's another?
Yes. A simple yet decisive question must be asked. Who swapped the red card for a blue card?
What? Who? The game and murder is done. The victim is dead. Only 2 remain in the room, alive, that is. The defendant, Phoenix Wright, and our witness, Olga O'Reilly. Okay, so who was it that swapped the red card for a blue? Someone else. The one who swapped the cards wasn't Mr. Wright, of course. And, well, it doesn't seem like it could have been Olga O'Reilly either. What are you suggesting? That's hardly a logical conclusion, I'll admit. As a defense, I think it only makes sense for you to name Miss O'Reilly at this point. Yes, I know, but she was the one who dealt the cards, right? I just can't believe she would make the mistake of swapping the wrong color card. And if the card was swapped during the game, it'd be obvious. Something you'd like to share with the court, Mr. Wright?
Oh, my apologies, Your Honor. I was just thinking how much fun all this is.
Phoenix, you troll. What the fuck do you know, man?
Fun? How about confusing? I have no idea what the defense is claiming, Your Honor. If the one who swapped the card wasn't the defendant, and it wasn't Miss O'Reilly, then who was it?
Yeah, well, that is the question, isn't it?
Precisely.
Huh?
I believe we're about to see this case take a new direction.
A new direction?
We'll find that, indeed, after the murder, someone swapped one of the cards in the victim's hand. And that someone made two critical mistakes.
I'm sure you're going to tell us that the first was swapping the wrong color card.
Because the one who did the swap didn't know two colors of cards were being used. The other mistake was the number on the card.
Right, the person replaced the 5th ace with the king.
I'm sure whoever swapped it wasn't expecting there to be a 5th ace after all. All they knew was that the game had been won with a full house. So they picked up a king from the table and swapped it in.
But there's one problem. According to our case record, this person doesn't exist.
True, not until now, but you have to admit the possibility of a fourth person. Though it's more than a possibility. There was someone else that night at the scene of the crime.
What?
I believe the judge spoke truthfully earlier. You do make trials ridiculous, Mr. Wright. This trial has proceeded on one central assumption, namely that at the time of the incident there were only 3 people in that room.
I believe this new evidence, shall we say, overturns that assumption.
The problem is that you chose to conceal this information from the court.
I suppose that is a problem, yes.
Court is adjourned for a brief recess. Mr. Gavin, I'll see you in my chambers during this recess. Certainly, Your Honor. Very well, the trial will resume in 20 minutes. I like being able to do that. That was quite unexpected, Mr. Wright. To suddenly claim there was another person at the scene of the crime like that. I must ask, is this the truth?
Well, now, I think you would know the answer to that.
Being mysterious, are we? Sadly, I have no time for mysteries. I've only asked that you leave the defending to your defense in the future. Otherwise, I cannot guarantee the outcome. Something is really up with you. Oh, did I say Clavier? Oops. I meant Christoph. Sorry. Christoph was the one who mentioned something about blue cards earlier.
I see you haven't mellowed out one bit, Christoph.
Justice. Yes, sir. The judge has summoned me to his chambers, so carry on without me. Sure. Just leave me with the guy.
You did well, Apollo.
Can I ask you something?
Sure.
That locket you wear. Is that really yours, Mr. Wright?
Ah, you're wondering about the victim's disappearing locket? Here, you can take a look at it. That's a picture of my daughter in there.
I'm just surprised to hear you had a daughter.
Most people are. Perhaps you'll meet her one of these days.
One more question. The one who cheated that night, was it you?
What do you think?
Huh?
You know what happened 7 years ago. What I did. It's not unreasonable for you to think I might cheat.
Never honest, but it is odd that he managed to go undefeated for 7 whole years.
Want to know something? There's only one game where you can be dealt bad cards all night and still win. Poker.
Eh?
You see, poker is all about reading your opponent. In that way, it's a lot like a court case.
Poker is like trial law?
Figure out what your opponent is thinking, and you win.
Well, yeah, but that's harder than it sounds.
I think not. Try as they might to conceal it, everyone reveals their true thoughts in the end. Their body language can become a valuable source of information.
You're kidding.
That witness, for instance, Miss O'Reilly. She would touch the back of her neck during certain parts of her testimony. Did you notice?
No. Come on, who noticed that?
Words, habits, twitches. It's all information for the reading. That's the secret to winning, Apollo. Someone taught me, and now I pass the secret on to you.
But I'm not worthy. I mean, there's no way I'll pick up on these signals.
No, you can do it.
Huh?
You just don't know it yet.
What's he talking about?
But you will. Soon. Ah! Almost forgot. One more thing about this case. You should know, I haven't told the truth to anyone yet.
What? I knew it.
I have my reasons, of course. All shall be revealed. And Apollo, I need you to be there, defending me. I need your power.
My, power? I had no idea my cords of steel were that special.
I don't think that's what he's referring to, but okay, Apollo.
It's time. The real trial begins now. Do your best.
To be continued. We are indeed continuing because I think we have about, I don't know, 12 minutes in, I guess? No, we're not saving yet, just in case. Rubble, rubble, rubble. Court will now reconvene. Has our witness, Miss Olga O'Reilly, recovered?
Yes, Your Honor. Well, she's regained consciousness.
Perhaps we can hear her version of the events again.
That's the thing. You see, she's quite fatigued.
You're looking a bit fatigued yourself, Mr. Payne. Sadly, fatigue is insufficient grounds for refusing to testify or prosecute. The defendant would like to request, the defense would like to request that Miss O'Reilly take the stand. Very well, the witness will take the stand. Perhaps you could repeat your name and profession. Or perhaps you'd rather admit that you're a poor liar and a poor loser.
Not.
Hello? I like that outfit.
Name's Olga O'Reilly. That's the truth. I'm a pro dealer. People call me Olga Quickfingers O'Reilly.
Oh really?
Want to know something else? I'm not really Russian, and my last name sounds like O'Reilly.
Okay, thank you for specifying that to me, because, Jesus.
There, that's the truth. I hope you're satisfied.
Damn, she's got spunk.
Witness, you will tell the court what you were really up to that night.
Fine, I'll talk. We had a plan, see? Let me remind you that you are currently under oath. Any further fabrications will have serious consequences. Yeah, literally everyone would have serious consequences by this point.
Fine.
Let's do it.
Like I said, I'm a pro. That guy Smith hired me to do what I do best. I was planted at the Borscht Bowl Club several days prior to the event to the night of the game, as a waitress.
So you were in cahoots with the victim?
Not that he needed my help. Smith is a well-known poker player in some circles. But winning wasn't the main purpose of this game. It was about destroying a legend, the unbeatable Phoenix Wright. The plan was simple, elegant really. You see, we set up a trap of sorts. I was to plant a card in Wright's pocket beforehand, and then deal 5 aces during one of their games. When their hands were revealed, Smith would call him out and search Wright. He would then pull out the planted card and the trap would snap shut.
You swapped the cards! exposed as a cheater, and losing on top of it, it would have made a great double play. That is dirty. Just like that, the legend would be dashed to pieces. Indeed. Getting caught red-handed at cheating would cast doubt on all his prior wins. A 7-year legend destroyed by one little card. That was the plan. Oh really, oh really. How droll. But it appears you made quite the mistake. A mistake? I agree, the trap was elegant. Yet, what happened to that planted card? Hey, that's right! He's lucky, I'll give him that. You have to be to slip free from a trap laid by Olga Quickfingers O'Reilly. Mouthful. Oh really? The witness would be much cuter if she dispensed with the evil mastermind shtick. Cute? Who wants to be cute? I'm not cute, I'm bad, you hear me? Bad! When you're through being bad, perhaps you could testify to the court. Tell us about this trap and how it was sprung. Let's do it. Witness testimony! That night, I planted the card like I was supposed to. And Wright lost the last hand just like he was supposed to. Then Smith searched him. But the planted card was gone. The trap failed. The next moment, Wright picked up a bottle and swung it. She put her hand up there. It wasn't me who hit Smith. It was that no good cheating defendant. A surprisingly frank testimony that still leaves us mostly in the dark. The trap was perfect, I tell you, perfect! If that rotten cheater hadn't messed it up. Look who's talking! Well, the testimony, for what it's worth, is all yours, Mr. Justice. With witnesses like her, who needs criminals? And with defendants like Mr. Wright, who needs prosecutors? Well... In A6, in the Curran village, they don't have a... Wait, no, they do have prosecutors. They don't have defense attorneys. I got it mixed around. Anyway, gotta press on stuff. But I have to skip one. This planted card. Which card was it exactly? The trump card, the 5 of hearts. Let me guess. Mr. Wright was to have switched the 5 with the ace to make a full house. At least that's what you were going to accuse him of doing, thereby ruining his legend. I slid it into Wright's pocket. When was this? Why, before the match, of course, while he was eating. At the Bush Bowl Club, we serve bush and suckers. Remind me never to go there. Of course, the card was to make its grand debut during the game. Like a good bush, a good plot must be cooked up early and allowed to thicken. So everything went according to plan. Exactly. The 5th ace came up, so it's obvious the switch went off without a hitch. Once the extra card was found in his pocket, Wright would be forever known as a cheat and a fraud. There are worse things to be known as, I suppose. Tell us what happened with the search. Where did the card go then? The card disappeared. Yeah, my trump card, the 5 of hearts. Gone, without a trace. Poof, zippo. We searched every nook and cranny, even inside his cute little hat. But the card was nowhere to be found, is this correct? Never in my long, storied career. Never has Quickfingers O'Reilly been so readily duped. Oh really? So what did happen to that 5 of hearts? Don't look at me. Why don't you ask that cheating, lying, two-faced defendant? So the 5 of hearts is still missing in action. Alright, we gotta skip over this. Let me ask, how's your eyesight? Just who do you think you're talking to? They don't call me Quick Fingers for nothing. I'm a pro, which means my dealing's pro, and my eyesight is pro. Honestly, she'd have to be blind as a bat to miss something in that small room. Yeah, but Mr. Wright didn't have a motive to hit the victim. Huh. Different personality, but the same testimony. I believe you have her where you want her, Justice. The circumstances have changed, yet her testimony has not. That means there's gotta be a contradiction in there. Quite. Alright. We're gonna go back to the part where she was holding up her arm there. Wait, isn't that a little odd? What's odd? You searched Mr. Wright, thoroughly and found nothing. Which means he didn't cheat. Which means he had no reason to strike the victim. Well... Hello? What was that just now? I sensed something. Something wrong, Mr. Justice? Oh, no, nothing, Your Honor. What to do? Should I press her a little harder? Yes! We're getting somewhere. Miss O'Reilly, you're hiding something!
What are you talking about? You? Me? Quick Fingers O'Reilly? Hide something? The defense will refrain from baseless accusations!
I have one question for the witness then. You say you saw the moment the defendant hit the victim. Is this true?
Of course it's true. I did see it, honest. I saw it when when Wright hit him. With my own eyes, I saw it.
What's this weird vibe I'm getting?
That witness, for instance, Miss O'Reilly. She would touch the back of her neck during certain parts of her testimony. Did you notice?
Touching her neck, was it? Hello! Hey! I'm sorry, but the perceived mechanic is still really creepy. Whoa! What's going on? The sensation. It's coming into focus. There, that twitch, it's so clear. It's like I could perceive her habit like I couldn't before. Gotcha! Thank you for, doing it for me. Miss O'Reilly, perhaps you are unaware of this yourself.
Unaware of what?
Whenever you get to a certain part of your testimony, you touch the back of your neck with your left hand.
My neck? So what?
What indeed, Justice? I hadn't noticed anything of the sort. When she says that part of the testimony, she's subconsciously recalling something. Her body reacts to the memory and she touches her neck. I'm sure of it.
A memory? Would someone care to explain what he's babbling about?
This is highly unusual, but let's ask the defense. You claim the witness is remembering something. Maybe you have evidence of this memory to show us. Her habit is scratching her neck whenever she talks about the moment of the crime. So what would remind her most of the moment of the crime? Miss O'Reilly, whenever you recall the crime that night, you scratch your neck. I noticed it happens when you think about the moment of the crime. There must be some reason behind this habit of yours. I believe the weapon that left an unerasable impression on your neck is this. The bottle. Whenever she talks about the moment of the crime, she touches her neck. And what reminds us more of that moment than this bottle, the murder weapon? But something doesn't fit. If you were only the witness to the crime, why would that make you touch your neck like you were in pain?
What's he talking about?
It was Mr. Smith, the victim, who was hit. Not you.
This is a cross-examination, not a cross-wild conjecture. The witness. Habits? They're completely irrelevant.
Justice, I'll admit I'm a bit confused myself. This is certainly a unique cross-examination. I'll explain later. Just trust me. Now's her only chance to break her. Break her? Goodness. Miss O'Reilly, please testify in detail about the moment of the crime. The very moment.
Ned, I am knowing nothing.
We know you're not Russian. The witness will testify, please, now. Fine. He's the one who did it. I didn't let him out of my sight until the cops got there. That is the new testimony, and we are going to press on that later on, because we are now out of time, so we're going to stop it here and continue this in the next video. I'll see you guys then! Using the witness, Miss Olga O'Reilly, are you? Time for justice. There were 3 people in the room at the time of the incident, and if Mr. Wright isn't guilty, that means I am. The defense accuses the witness, Mrs. Olga O'Reilly, of murder. Ah! Oh dear. Was that like a lobster? Mr. Payne, where is your witness, Miss Olga O'Reilly?
It appears she has lost consciousness, Your Honor.
Mr. Justice, Your Honor, it seems you've presented a new possibility to the court. One suggesting a connection between the witness and the victim, Mr. Snake. Oh, Apollo. Your Honor, please recall the testimony we just heard. That's impossible. But I put that card in Wright's hand. Ergo, Miss Olga O'Reilly conspired to cheat not with my client, but with the victim, Mr. Shoddy Smith. Oh my god, this track. I really hope in Ace Attorney 6 they'll bring back a lot of music tracks from Apollo Justice, because there are some good tracks in here and I want to hear them remixed. Not only did she cheat, she cheated poorly. Therefore, it's not hard to imagine altercation between her and the victim. What? Wait, you don't mean the defense isn't Olga? What was that, Miss O'Reilly? I merely said, I have... Your Honor. Mr. Galvin, yes. Tell me, what is the easiest way to cheat at poker? To cheat? I'll tell you. One merely needs a friend, a comrade, shall we say. The dealer. Oh! Wait, so you mean this witness, Miss O'Reilly? She's the cheater, a professional, I wager. Yeah! Oh my! Order! Focus, Justice. Time to take advantage of her. Of her mistake. Hey, thanks. Do it for me. That's awesome. When examining evidence, be sure to view it from all sides and angles. Try using the dials on the evidence viewer. That should give you a better perspective on the case. Okay, let's do this. Alright, well, there's nothing suspicious on the front side, so let's see if there's anything in the back. Oh. Hello. What? Your Honor, look at this! One of the victim's cards. The back is a different color. That's impossible. But I put that card in Wright's hand. Oh? Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Apollo Justice. We are in the middle of figuring out who cheated and whatever happened to the 5th ace that apparently existed, and we can't seem to find it right now, so let's move on. Now, which of these hands is more suspicious? Let's look at the victim's hand. It was the victim's hand that changed over the course of the witness's testimony. The defense requests time to examine Mr. Smith's cards. Very well. Mr. Payne, if you would.
Very well.
Thank you. Well, time's a-wastin'. Get to it, Justice. Yes, sir.